Hi guys, Dandelion Song, and I'm back in Paris looking at the Eiffel Tower man, and I'm going to I'm going to try to see what I can find in terms of relationships between this and Washington, D.C. But, first of all, I was taking a look because it's not true north, of course. Let me move this so that you can see the north area here. I'll move this, you have to look to your upper right of your screen and I'll highlight it. So I aimed it, it's going this way, but the map is more or less true north. So then I drew this line right here and I put it as close to 0 degrees as I could, which is, I don't know if this is their rose line. I haven't really done a lot of work on their rose line, but this could be their rose line, and our rose line in Washington, D.C. is our 0360 line that this basically goes from the Jefferson Center to Jefferson Memorial to the White House. So anyway, what I did was try to use this as my north, and I just used my handheld protractor here against the screen to measure this angle, and to me, for my best measuring, looks like it's a 47-degree angle. And I've only started to pay attention to these angles, so I don't really understand all their code with the angles. I'm going to erase this now. But 47 is the agent number, and it's the reverse of 74, which is their God number. So, and from the decoding that I've done on the agent number 47 is that it usually decodes a dark agent. However, it also can decode a good agent, I think, too. And basically the agent idea is just somebody who lives for the mission more than they live for themselves. So that's, I think, the core of that number, of the idea of that number. So in my last video, I wished I had gone to the Wikipedia to look at the official coordinates, because it's always good to check the official coordinates, but the official coordinates usually will tell you what they were actually aiming for. They will actually put it right there in plain sight. So here we have the 296 right there in the coordinates. And so you know that this was not an accident that I was finding the 296 over there. This is our 269, and it has to do with Washington, D.C. as much as it does with Paris. And so I would like to learn, I'm going to check the 269 and the 296 heading from this place to see what we can learn. But down over here, we still have the 2, which is the B, the 17, which is the Q. This is pi in terms of the Q, because Q is the 17th letter, but this pi is derived from HI, which is the Greek way of writing it. And not only that, but Q is a pictograph. If you look at it, picture a Q in your mind, it's a pictograph of the power symbol, which is the conception symbol. It's on the floor of the UN, and what we're talking about here in Washington, D.C. with the phallus of Osiris and Isis sitting there on this heading it's the 269 heading, but it's an anagram. It's the same heading. They anagram all kinds of things. That's a conception event, so that's why we need to pay attention to this. And also this is in the anagram form, it's 3 days after the gestation. The baby would be 3 days old on this 269th day. On the 296th day, it would be 30 days old. So you can already see that mirror, right? Here we have the 40. This is the big number having to do with the Amtrak train coordinates, and that track symbolized us, you and me, and the regular people, and us adds up to 40, and the U.S. adds up to 40, and I have found the number 40 adding up to basically mean the body of people, or you would say the body of Christ if you resonate with or if you're even interested in that symbolism. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. I also want to show you that in the wiki, they are not brave enough to show you the face of Isis right here. So that's kind of cool, actually, because they're so audacious. It's kind of cool when I find something that they're not even brave enough to show you. But it is here, so I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to show you how it is here. All right, well, when I copied it, the little red dot went away, but it's right here. You can see the Eiffel Tower man right here, and I will measure this. They include this part as the bottom, and from here to the pineal gland is 1.01, and there's every little bit of height in there has a special meaning between these chakras, and I don't remember them all to be able to rattle them off to you, but you can see her forehead right here, and you can see her nose. It's written in white. And this is her face right here. And then here's her veil. And the veil, as you will notice, is very, very similar to ancient Babylon. And then this is the other part of her halo and over here. And then if you have a larger picture, you can see that they actually have the outward beams of the halo here. So I just want to show you, I haven't really done anything, I haven't increased the contrast here, but I could, and I could make this pop out even more. All right, well, while we're still having more fun here in Paris, I just want to show you this. I believe this is, I've already drawn this out in an early video when I was just first making videos, and probably wasn't very good of a video, but see this woman here with big hair? She's kind of got Marge Simpson hair, or maybe royal person hair, or maybe she has a giant crown on, and this is her pineal gland, her third eye. And this would be forming her face. It's also brain structure, as I've talked about. And then you can see, if you back out here, you don't really even need too much imagination to see that in her right arm, this would be her right arm, she's holding a weapon, and it's facing in that direction. And I'm really pretty sure this is a she, although I haven't found breasts on this one. The ISIS in Washington, D.C. for sure has breasts. I guess I'm saying that this is a she because Paris means for Isis, and then this larger picture is Isis, so I guess that's kind of why I'm going on that she's a she. But also she does have a little bit of a behind here. However, maybe she's a Michelle Obama. I'm not sure, because see this? Not anything disrespectful towards beloved transgender people. Maybe I shouldn't even say that, but yeah, something's going on right here. Okay, so anyway, she has a dress, and I guess I feel a little disrespectful towards the royals. I don't feel so much disrespectful towards regular people who all have you know, the basic things that they're trying to get through in life, and so many people are struggling with hormone issues having to do with the pollution in our food, and so many people are unaware of the power of the hormones in our food, and I have a lot of compassion and love. And I think everybody has the right to clean food, and everybody has the right to wear whatever they want to wear, and especially if somebody was contaminated, you know, and we won't know because nobody is doing the right kind of medicine, but especially if somebody was contaminated with pollutants, we have no right to judge them for that, especially if moralistically, it's like someone stands outside and gets showered with cancer-causing spray, and then they get cancer, and we're like, you know, you're really not living out God's plan for you. That's ludicrous. So everybody deserves clean food. I guess I poke fun at Michelle because she's a royal and she's an insider, and I guess I feel like that gives me a right to poke fun at her. But I don't poke fun at transgender people. We're all in this together. We all need clean food. We all need to take care of each other. We all need to have rights. It's just so, you know, guerrilla Congress to be arguing about those things still. All right. Okay, so had my little retraction / soapbox there. She's wearing a dress here. So I feel like this is pretty easy to see. Let's get a heading on here. You know, I would really break up the headlines, right, if I talked about a transgender phallus, but I'm not going to do that. 31. This is going to be a 32-degree heading, you guys. Can you see this? Now, I just learned on the Zachary K. Hubbard channel that I believe it's a 2332 or a 3223 is the synagogue of Satan. So just want to keep that in mind when we see the opposites here. I know I'm a little bit off track, but now now I want to know what is this place. I think who wants to take a bet? I think it's going to be military. Gar is I learned that the garden, this could be military. Okay, it's a garden. It's a jardin. It's not military? I can't tell. Okay. We have to know. Do we have to know? You guys want to know too? You probably already know, and you're waiting for me to figure it out, aren't you? Well, just speak up, and I'll be able to hear you. It's a tourist place. Okay, that is the train station. So this is, Gare is train, isn't it? I'm really sorry if this is so okay, we have tennis courts. This is the train station. This has to be the train station. Yes, okay, so Gare is train. It's interesting how Gare and Jardin are a little bit the same. Garden, I learned the etymology of Gare having to do with garden is actually a contained area for keeping food that you intend to cook later. Yeah. I have a bunch of big books on etymology, and if I had more time, I would check everything, because there's so much to learn with that. That's how I learned about Buckingham Palace, the true meaning of that. Okay, train station. Well, we do see the symbolism of a train, right? All right. There's another little phallus right there. Okay. All right. Boy, did I get off track. Showing you this lady here, though, and she has a weapon, and her weapon, her weapon is the eye of this Isis. Do you see her forehead and her nose and her chin? And here she even has a high cheek. See the high cheek? And this is her mouth. Now, we've seen the mouth of Isis in Philadelphia, and I didn't really take a close look at this mouth of Isis. I wonder if there's a kind of mouth numbers here. Electric. Leclerc General. Sorry. I have a faux French accent that I love to torture my children with. If you are the parent of teenagers, you have to watch YouTube and get yourself a fake French accent. You can drive your teenagers crazy anytime you feel like it. It's worth it. It's fun. And eventually they're going to smile. Look at this cheekbone. Okay, this might be like a beauty mark over here. This is coming straight out of her nose. Nausea. Is that French? Okay, so her eyes, let's look at the heading of her eye. Oh, okay, so here it's more parenting tips. If your teenagers are acting up in the store, all you have to do is threaten to do the funky chicken in public. They will clean up their act so fast you won't even believe it. That has been working for me for like 3 years now. 185.26 degrees. I guess no one wants to see me do the funky chicken in public. Especially not my kids. I'm not getting what that might have to do with. But that's her weapon going backwards. That's her eye. So the view of Isis's eye in ancient Babylon goes straight to the Freedom Tower. Okay, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pull that out to see where that eye goes. Hold on. Okay, well, real quick, before we get started, I took a very much more careful heading to make sure I was going to do this right. And I'm going to go with 184.56. And the reason why I'm going to go with 84 is because I've been watching the Zachary K. Hubbard channel, and he's finding 84s everywhere having to do with all kinds of tie-ins, but also the least of which Jesuit tie-ins, Pope tie-ins, major event tie-ins, more. I wish I could rattle off the things he could say. But the least of which is Obama's birthday. So 48 and 84 are all tied in that way. So that's why I'm going to pick this number, because I have learned from him that this is the number, not the 85 number. All right, here we go. Okay, well, we probably crossed somewhere in France that has a castle, and I probably missed it. But what I noticed when I came down here, I have to lay it down because it'll start flipping around. When I came down here, see, we have 184.44 is it? I didn't make this white line right here. That's not my white line. But our line matches right up with that white line. And that tells me I did my line right. So I'm going to save this line, and then we're going to keep on going here. Now, you saw the heading when I laid it down. I just want to show you how these headings work in case you're new to Google Earth and you try to do this yourself and you're going to think like, what the heck? How does she do this? I don't understand the heading system because it changes. So now we just have to go down here and make sure that we picked it up right, and now it's 188 heading. And what I have found is that there seems to be no rhyme or reason to these headings once you lay them down and pick them up again, except for the only rhyme and reason is that I very rarely find a heading that is not numerically significant. Like, see this one? 188.36. Very numerically significant. I hardly ever find a heading when I lay it down and pick it back up again. I hardly ever find one that is just some random number. So I wonder if this is like, you know, their spaceship landing pad, or, you know, this is a fluke of the satellite or something like that. All right, I'll draw this out and then I'll let you know what I find. All right, well, it came all the way around to Paris, which shows you that we did it right. In the final heading, it was 353, which is a little bit like an 88 again. And it's also 353 is a 35 and a 53, which are kind of comet active numbers. But I just want to show you where it kind of goes through. Nothing's popping out at me yet, but I'm just unfamiliar with these areas. I bet if I spent time looking at this, some things would pop out. We have some Fiji Islands here. It goes by New Zealand, and it went through Antarctica. It narrowly missed something over here that I thought, maybe I was supposed to hit that. I have to zoom in, I guess, to see it. Some shipwrecks. So I think the action's going to be right here. It does go right through this island that was named after Bes. Now, Bes is a kind of a dwarf god of Egyptian times, a bearded, friendly god seen to be protective of women and children and households. And they named this whole island after Bes. And pictures of Harpocrates. Let me show you. It goes right by Montségur. I bet you there's more castles in here. I love castles. I'm going to try to find more castles in here. Okay, but anyway, Isis pictures of Harpocrates. If you look at Harpocrates and pictures of Harpocrates do match the area here. Sorry, I thought I saw something. I was taking a look at that. So this is the picture. This is the place of the Christ child's head, or the Harpocrates head. Harpo is the name of the child, the Horus child. So Mother Mary and Christ child fit here, and so does Isis and Harpo. Well, anyway, pictures of Harpo, and you see him in in my intro or my outro with a pigtail on his left side of the statue, and here he also has a pigtail on his left side. It's right here. It goes down right here, and he's kind of looking that way in some of them. Some of them he's looking straight on. There's different pictures here. This is the Christ child's head. Well, okay, yeah. So what I want to say about that statue is that they have Bes. Bes is included in the pictures with Harpocrates as a protector of children. So that could be why her gaze is there. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more discovery here. Okay, just to show you some of these measurements, I'm kind of sharing the discovery with you as we go along here. This is the heading from the center of the Eiffel Tower and to basically the head of the owl along this line. This is the 269 line. In this case, it's heading up in this direction. I'll turn it around after I set this line down. And the heading, though, from Paris is 291.69, and it's pretty stable. The 69 is pretty stable. So I wanted to show you that because the 69, I've talked to you about the 29 being 911, and I've talked to you about the 69 having to do with a possible digital root derivation of 618816. All right, well, these are some pretty special numbers. I flipped it around to the normal way that you're used to looking at it. I'll come out here so that you can see the capital. the Lincoln Memorial, Jefferson Memorial, and the White House. This is Isis sitting on Horace Sr. This is the 269-degree heading going west that way. This is also the cross. It's a little bit in the way right here. But the Pope is going to be standing at the bottom of the cross looking west towards the dying sun. The sun will be literally dying on the cross from that view. Okay. So here we have a very nice and tidy 1111. They love 11s. They do. It makes them so happy when they see 11. So that's why they put it here. So we have a 38,000. 3,800. That's different from 38,000. 3,838.8 miles. And then it's a 291.71. So this is the 29. I feel like this is a confirmation of how I see the 29 being a 911, because it's right here next to the 711. So we have the 911 and the 711. And I feel like the whoops, sorry about the sound. I don't know what's going on. Jeez, really sorry. Excuse me. I don't know why that happened. It's all in the normal place, like nothing different happened. Okay. So I feel like that's a confirmation, and I think that's a really special heading. 291.71. I think they worked a long time on that. So what I want to do first, just take a look at some of these other measurements. Let's look at nautical miles. That'd be a 3335. 35 is the UN number. That's the I. And then we have another 11. 55.5 degrees. I've talked about that being their alarm number. The Snape quake alarm number. Boom, boom, boom. That's the soundtrack of the movie. When they have, I'm sorry, what's like the sound here? Whoa. Sorry guys. I don't, Okay. If I turn down the volume, will that help? I don't think I have a volume control right here. Okay, I don't know if I fixed the microphone, but I'm holding it where I always hold it, so I don't understand that. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. We have the 555. Let's look at this one. Double sevens. There's always, oh, that's a 777. I wonder if there's one in here that doesn't make sense. This one still kind of makes sense. Inches. Let's go. We didn't, yeah, meters is going to be the same. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yards. Oops, feet. 268, 808, 202. 202 is the height of the Horus right here. 2 miles, 2.02 miles. It looks like they took this all into consideration. Okay, well, I'm going to look around here some more, but and if I find something, I'll bring it to you. Thanks for coming along with me to Paris. I hope you had a nice trip. Really sorry about my microphone. I don't know what's going on with it. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.